Hey guys, it is Sonia and Matt with Junk Monkey Paint Company, and a big warm welcome to all you home talkers. Tell me who's hanging out with us here today. Be sure to comment where you're watching from, because as you know, Home Talk spans around the globe. It is the world's largest online DIY community. We hang out here, we talk all things DIY around the home, tutorials, the garden, all that good stuff. So I'm going to be your host today, and my husband Matt is behind the scenes joining me.
That is I.
We are going to have fun with this piece right here. This is our guest of honor today. So come be nice, say hello, and yes, she's brownie frowny, but I promise you she's got so much potential. You can't judge a book by its cover, right? So when you look at this piece here, I mean, yeah, you know, this basically the wear just shows where the life has been, right? I actually got this piece with Matt recently at an auction. It was auction number 128. Who out there also loves to go to auctions? Because you can find some really good stuff. Fun fact, how I got into painting furniture on this scale that I painted was because I fell in love going to auctions and realizing that one person's junk is another person's treasure. They sell everything there and the kitchen sink, you know what I'm talking about. But you walk away with beautiful pieces like this for so cheap. So I think I got this, if I remember correctly, somewhere between like $12 and $14. So what do you think? Was that a good price? Would you have hauled it home? One thing I have come to know as being a painter for over a decade is that trunks, chests, what do you guys call them? What do you call them, Matt? What would you call this?
Blanket chest.
Blanket chest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Chest.
Do you guys even have one in your house? Yeah, and it's nice and clean inside. So I thought it was a really good deal.
Mm-hmm.
And so they always sell. I started to say, it looks
They
like
taped up the locks,
so I
yeah.
can't, yeah.
So
And there's the other part of it right here.
this
so
is Elaine,
connect. Yeah?
because Elaine has their aromatite.
Ooh, it smells good inside, I have to say.
Absolutely.
Yep.
For
You
as
look
old
outside-
as
This is 1950s.
Is it?
Yeah.
Cool. For, you know, you look at it on the outside and you can see it's really beat up, but on the inside it smells so nice and fresh in there. I promise you, if we had smell-o-vision, you'd smell it too.
Yeah.
Love it.
How many kids hidden there?
Yeah, right? So she is in good shape. She's got good bones. Who cares about the dents and the dings? Because we are going to make her beautiful. Would you guys put this at the end of the bed? Would you use it as a coffee table? You know, we live in a time when people repurpose stuff. It doesn't have the actual original purpose of this doesn't have to be that original purpose anymore. You know what I'm saying? So when you see a piece like this, do you have a place that you would put it in mind? Because when I look at it and it has all the dents and dings, I always look beyond that and just as the piece overall, is it got good bones? Does it have good shape? Is it gonna work well into a home? Because at the end of the day, I can use all those scrapes and dents and dings to play into the style of furniture that I love to do, which is shabby chic, distressed, time-worn, country, rustic, farmhouse. You can say whatever name you want, but you know, no, we're all talking about the same, just well-loved kind of pieces, right? So she needs some TLC. So in today's tutorial, I am going to show you how easy it's going to be to put just a nice coat of color on this piece, and I don't have to prime or sand or strip. All I did was clean. I'll show you and bring you up to speed with that in just a second, and we'll go bananas and actually painting the piece. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how I use just 2 colors of paint to bring this piece back to life and do what I call just a beautiful weathered blend. But instead of using like maybe grays or browns or neutrals, I'm gonna go with a little bit more of a warm pop of color. So I'll show you the colors I'm gonna use today. Remember, 1 color plus 1 color equals a 3rd color, right? So today we're gonna pull out our I Love You More. I just feel with this brownie frowny, some nice warm, you know, just a warm olive green would look so beautiful. It's a very vintagey color. What do you guys think of that color? Oosh, is yummy. And to do this weathered blend, I'm gonna bring in a 2nd color, and I'd like you to meet Miss Sandy Tan Toes. All right, so give it all up to Miss Sandy Tan over here. She's looking almighty fine. So Sandy Tan's gonna meet I Love You More, and we're gonna do a beautiful blend together. So real quick, because I get a lot of questions about this, Sonia, okay, so what'd you do so far for prep? All right, I'm a girl who likes to just easy peasy, low maintenance. Let's flip this before company comes over, and you know what? Let's do it before we even make supper. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, supper's gotta wait. We gotta do painting first, all right? Who out there also loves to paint? So we're gonna grab Crud Cutter. This is one of my favorite products that I've come across. I've used lots, and as a painter yourself, you probably just gravitate to certain products that you come to love, right? So I never want to prep a surface with something that's super oily or just something that's going to basically resist my water-based paints, okay? So this is just a really nice cleaner. We spritz it on all over, and then what I did was I just grabbed some paper towels, or you can grab a rag and just wipe it right off, okay, until you see it nice and clean. Yes, this paint is so good that it will stick to dirt. Listen, we don't judge, all right? But you may want to clean your piece, especially if it's not already coming from your home, right? Sometimes we just don't know what stories these pieces have to tell. They have nicotine, they have dirt, you know what I'm saying.
Have they got all their shots?
Yes, well, they may or may not, right? And sometimes we just pick them up like stragglers on the side of the road, you know, and bring them home, right? So we just don't know. So yes, so this is what I love to use. Crud Cutter, you can find it at a lot of local places that sell like hardware kind of stuff, all right? So the next thing is we're working in our shop today, and I don't have my paint tray with me, but that's okay. You can't keep a good painter down. I found this old lid of a tray, and this is where the magic is gonna happen. So let's go ahead and pull out a little bit of our I Love You More right there. Okay, I've just pulled out a bunch right there with our stir stick. Honestly, I love to keep, if you guys have them as well, I love to keep little plastic spoons and stuff around. Anybody else do that? And then let's go ahead and take out some sandy tan toes, all right? And put it side by side. Here's the big question of the day. Here's the poll of the day. Who out there is okay with their food touching and who is not, all right? Somebody out there right now is going, oh my gosh, it's touching each other, all right? Matt is somebody, this is how we're all different, okay? We're the yin and the yang. Matt is somebody who does not want, like, you know, his corn to touch his mashed potatoes and his meat segregated over here. There's a reason why that tray was formed. That, you know, the tray we're talking
exactly.
about. Me, I'm a casserole girl. I love, like, you know, I love like dump cakes and dump casseroles. So which side are you on? Do you aim more for the, no, I don't want my food to touch? But I'm going to tell you something. You know it all goes to the same place, right? You do have to chew it, right? This is the conversation, okay, that me and Matt will have.
For 20 years.
For 20 years, all right? But I'm curious to see. All right, so all together, or no, they cannot positively touch. So I'm gonna go with, like I told you, a distressed style for this piece. One of the easiest way that you can cheat. Don't overlook these lovely little chip brushes. I call them shabby chip brushes, okay? When you get them, and they're always relatively cheap, all right, guys? All the supplies that we use here in our tutorials, you can get at junkmonkeypaint.com. Follow the link below. It'll take you right to where you can pick these up for yourself. So when I get them, these are new that just came out of the box. I always do a nice little tug on the end because I want to make sure that if there's any little hairs that did not get clamped on tight, we get them out now before we start our project, right? No surprises, no surprises. All right, we're good to go. So I'm gonna grab one brush, two colors equals 3, obviously. And now we got our piece. Because this bristle is a natural bristle brush, it's a 2-inch brush, by the way.
Say that 3 times fast.
I don't even know what I just said.
Natural bristle brush.
Natural bristle brush. Natural bristle brush. You try it below. You guys type it up below. So the good thing is, you know, when you know the reason why you use your tools, you'll know why I would use this in this particular instance. I want distress style, okay? So this brush is so hard, what's gonna happen is when I paint over the surface with it, it'll actually show, it won't give me full coverage. It'll give peekaboos of what's below it. So I like to let the brownie frowny piece show through, and that plays into my distressed style, right? Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'll do the top first because, let me step in front of you here, because that's always fun to see. It's a nice flat surface.
In front of me.
Yep, we're ready to go. This is so fun. I always love, I know, right? That's okay, we've cleaned her.
This has a lot of kids that ran it over top this. Oh.
All right, so let's go ahead and put some paint over the top of it. Let's see here. You ready, guys? Come in for a close look for this here, Matt.
I'm right here.
All right, so 2 down, all right? Now, I do really like this color because it gives me a really warm color. You know what I'm saying? It just, the 2 colors together, and I think, you know, that vintagey color, olive color, warm color. Oh, so pretty. You could put this with white. You could put this with any color you want, but what happens is, you see how the 2 colors come together and they give that really cool like variation in color there? You got multiple tones going on, multiple looks, right? Highlights, you know, shadows. If I ever wanted to add like more of the I Love You More into it, I would just drop it in. The most important thing is, and our paint blends so easily, guys, just keep your paint wet and you can blend till the cows come home, all right? You can put wherever you want. So for example, if you wanted to go, you know, when you think about how a moon glows, if you want to go lighter in the center and then darker around the edges and kind of frame out, you can do that with it. But let's go ahead and put this on and we can continue to play with it, all right? So I'm gonna go from one side to the other side. Always, you wanna definitely make sure you keep your brush strokes as straight as possible. That's gonna give you a nice professional look. You don't want your brush strokes to be all wonky, going all over the place. How pretty that is. What do you think, Matt? Should I show up more of the sandy tan, or do you think I should show up more of the I love you more?
I don't know.
Or do you just kind of like that?
I just like.
You like that? You
I like it.
that?
I like it. I like it a lot.
You like it a lot?
I like it a lot.
So what about those of you who are watching? What colors would you guys do? I would be curious to know. Do you have two favorite colors? Would you do gray? I'm gonna tell you one thing I've learned, especially since having a storefront, is that color is like the spice of life, right? Like it is just, everybody likes their spices a little bit differently. Matt's actually a chef, a trained chef, and so he'll probably tell you too. Isn't that right? That everybody just likes, well, I mean, even when you think about it, like burgers, right? Some people like them, you know, mooing on their plate. Others like them medium or well done. And it's the same sort of thing, you know, when it comes to
Those people should be in jail.
Looks. Really?
You well done people, I will find you.
Now I'm gonna go a little bit lighter over here on my brush. Come take a look at this because I wanna show them real quick and teach them how to do this part. This part over here has got all kinds of texture. I'm going to not push so heavily on my brush, and I'm purposely gonna leave a few spaces. Look how pretty that looks, just to leave a little bit of character in there, right? Because if I tried to take a sand pad and do that, sometimes they don't, you know, a sand pad is just so unnatural.
A little bit too rough.
It is, and the way it takes your paint off just doesn't look as, you know, as nice, right? Can you guys see that? Isn't that pretty? All right, let's do the front over here. But color is like spice in that one person will paint this. This is what I know to be true, okay? I could paint this white and somebody will come in and say, if you painted it in black, I would have totally bought it. I'll paint this in green and somebody will come in, oh, if that was orange, oh, that would have been perfect for me. Right?
You know what's amazing?
But it always finds a home. What's that?
We sell those colors. You can buy it and paint it yourself that color.
Absolutely.
There you go.
You know,
problem solved.
You have the people who say, you know, well, you shouldn't have even painted that. At the end of the day, I just think that as long as you're loving on the piece that you have in your home, all will be well, because you're the one who's got to sit and stare at it. So if you want to paint it green, paint it green. I am giving you full permission today, all right? I'm gonna do the entire lip over here because gravity happens. So I like to go across the top first and then catch up with my edges. Oh. All right.
Gravity.
Yep, you got it. And now we'll start to the base, all right? Which is kind of cool when you think about it, because if we wanted to, we could do anything. I could have done a dark top.
Different color on the base.
Yeah, I could have did a dark top. I could do like a brown top, black top, fun look down here, you know, just to really play it up. Are you guys getting ideas as I'm doing this? So we did that part up there first, all right? That was the fun part, to get to put the very first paintbrush strokes on it. But I gotta tell you, my favorite part of actually painting a piece of furniture is getting down to like where there's just a little bit of detail going on, right? It starts to bring the paint to life. So remember, you can always add more of whatever color you wanna see. And I am going to not try to give myself full coverage down here. I want it to match up at the top and leave some spaces that just look like, you know, they're worn. Keep your brush strokes all in line, just like that. All right, and then make sure you get the bottom. If you're like, for example, if your brush is flinging out down over here, in my mind, I like to think of every little piece as part of the puzzle that make up the actual piece itself, right?
Yeah, you need to get in that crease right there.
What are you seeing? Up here, Nick?
No, right on the other side. Oh. Yes.
Did I get it?
Yes.
Nice. There's probably somebody else out there as well going, please, for the love, get that little part right there. There's nothing worse when you're watching and you're waiting, right? All right, let's go ahead and do this part right here and keep on moving. But I'll show you something real quick since I kind of talked about this in just a second. And let me go ahead and move over here to give you an example of what I was talking about with how easy it is to really blend our paint, okay? So let's say, for example, you love the look where there's lots of, and all you have to do is think about the moon. Now I'm just gonna put the paint on real fast, all right? Real fast, all around this square, just to get it down. Our paint will give you plenty of time to straighten up your lines and do all that. So let's just go ahead and create the border first, all right? You follow me, you picking up what I'm putting down? Give me a yes. If that is you, and you're like, oh yeah, I gotcha. What we doing here now, sister? All right, so we got the darkness down. Now let's go into the light, all right?
Great band, by the way.
Go into the light. What is that?
Darkness.
The darkness. Oh yeah, I think I've heard them. I'm pretty sure you play them when we're
Remember that
driving.
called Love, remember?
Oh yeah, I do. Oh, I'm just so terrible with remembering the names of like actors. I remember movies. I don't always remember the actors, or I don't remember the singers, but I remember the song. You know what I'm saying? That's me. Anybody else out there? So if you want, you can really put some light in the center and then blend it out to the dark. And really play with that and get it the way you like it. Soften up your brush strokes and blend them out. So if I sat here and played with this, I could really make a dresser, like the dresser drawers look amazing because light in the center hits it, you know? How does that look? Are you seeing it, Matt, what I mean? Is it showing up bright enough through the camera? Should I
It's showing up,
exaggerate
yes.
it a little bit more? You guys can see it? Okay, good. All right. So then it's just as long as you want to stay here and play and get, honestly, that light center looking exactly like you want to look. What you want it to look,
I
right?
think you need more light.
Let's put some more dark down here so we can really start to see it. All right, pretty. And then, like I say, as long as your paint is wet, you have plenty of time to go in and add it in. So I always think of it, same thing, like a moon glow. Your lightest is in the center and your darkest will be out on the edges, right? And where it combines is where you'll get a fade. And then you just play with it. You can turn it into, you can turn it into a more of a circular look. Just play with your edges right here. But real quick, I'm pretty sure you guys are getting what I'm saying, right? Now we put some light there, so we would definitely have to put some white over here. What do you guys think?
That's not white.
Well, I say white, light. Sandy tan is like a very, very light.
Tan.
Yeah, totally.
There you go.
Totally. All right. So we can just play with it as much as we want. All right. Let's keep going here. You guys are picking up what I'm putting down, right? Does it give you guys some ideas as well? Just the fun that you can have with color, playing with it. Let's get this knocked out. Again, I'm basically gonna do the edges in a darker. And go lighter in the center. And we can stay and play all day. And by the way, if your paint starts to dry before you get a chance, since we're kind of gone down this road of talking about how to add, just a light and a more of a blend shade with your paint, that if you have a water bottle, that's a great way to be able to keep your paint on a wet edge to give you plenty of time to play with it and get it the way you want it to look, right guys? So you can, sit in front and straighten up your lines and do what you gotta do. Because you can play and play and play with this. You can do fun shades where, your shade is, say for example, your blend of this nature, maybe it starts off dark and it gets all the way light when it goes to the top. Totally up to you. All right, I'm liking what I'm seeing there, so we can play more with that, but we'll just keep going. So let's just go ahead and do the same blend for over here. I think when you do a blend, it's much more interesting than when you just do one color. It makes it look interesting. You can do some really fun statement pieces with it. So guys, give me a heart if you are loving on this project, if you're getting ideas out there. And I would love it if you would take a moment to share this video, share the love, give somebody else some great ideas out there.
They get no ideas.
Getting all kinds of ideas. I do love that. So now what I'm going to do is actually just refuel a little bit with my paint, and I'll probably paint the back of this only because I'm not sure if this will end up being a coffee table. You know, if you're going to have a piece that's going to be just kind of hanging out in the middle of a room, you may want to go ahead and do the back as well, but that's totally up to you. All right, guys. All right. Okay, Matt. How does that look from the front over here, my friend?
That's cool.
Are you seeing it?
I'm seeing it. I'm
Good
trying
deal.
to get this.
Oh, you want me to do this?
I'm getting the whole overall view. There you go.
Do the tangle, and let me get over here. This doesn't have to be a long process. You know, somebody right now is coming on going, wait a minute, what do you have? How do you have to prep it? You don't. You clean it. You clean it, and with Junk Monkey, you grab a brush and you go bananas. And that's what's so fun about it. So if you guys have any questions below, I am hanging out below in the video with you guys right now.
Are you lurking?
I am lurking down below. So be sure to holler out any questions so I can help you guys right now.
All right.
Love that.
Perfect.
Yep. Got a little bit of green left on our plate. Let's put a little bit of green in here. All right, just to change it up a little bit. Okay, so I can keep playing with this, doing whatever, right? So this was the part that I was playing with. It's still wet right here, so I can still do my blend. But like I said, just use that tip using a water spray bottle, or even just having a little jar of water that you can put your brush into to keep the brush hairs on the wet side. So that way, everything will do what it's got to do. All right, so the next thing I would do with this piece, honestly, is I would let it dry, and then we would have to do a little distressing, a little more distressing.
13 minutes, not too bad.
Is that what we're at, 13 minutes?
No, that's how long it took you to
The paint?
remake this. A paint blend technique in 13 minutes.
Not bad. And this is just us playing around, right? Playing around today, hanging out, getting some ideas together. So that's the part when you sit and you put your music on and you blend out your paint as much as you want. On the top I could add some more out, but honestly I would really like to do some distressing on the edges and things like that. So I'm going to let this dry. Now you could use, for example, I have right here, this is a heat gun. Who out there has a heat gun as well? These are wonderful tools, okay? So you can plug this in and you could help this dry really quickly. This is not a hair dryer. This is a heat gun that's actually used to help paint come off. It heats up. It could be like, I think this one's around 1200, 1400, isn't it? Yes. Somewhere around there. So what you would do is basically move it around. It would help dry. But to be totally honest with you, your paint's going to be more durable if you just let it do the process itself versus trying to force dry it. So we're not going to do that right now, but this is just air drying. Typically with our paints, it takes about a half an hour. And if you have good airflow, it could be even drying even faster than that. So you have plenty of time to manipulate the paint and do what you want to do. Remember, there's brownie frowny under here, so if we grab a sand block, we can go ahead and do some distressing for the edges, but I'm going to show you how to cheat, okay? So let's say, for example, this is a tutorial. Every single week, guys, I'm on here on Wednesdays, and I love to give you guys just great paint tips, techniques, things that I wish somebody had told me when I first started back in the day over 10 years ago. So let's say, for example, you're not as lucky as me, and maybe this chest comes to you and it's painted purple. What are you gonna do, right? But you still love that dark distressing. Here's what you're going to do. I'm gonna grab some of our Candy Bar Brown paint right here. So my favorite colors to do this tip that I'm about to show you is in brown and black. I think every shabby painters who love just distressed old time worn furniture and love that distressed look should have a brown and a black in your toolkit, okay? So what we're gonna do is just start off with another shabby chip brush. We're gonna dip it into our candy bar brown paint. We're gonna pull it off the edges right here so that our brush comes to a nice point as best as possible. And you can start to see that things are setting up on this piece right now, right? So then what we're gonna do is put it on an angle, and then we can drop off some of that brown. Again, brown, I'm going for a more softer look on this piece, but if you were to put black, it would be a little more dramatic. So brown keeps it on the soft, you know, just that soft, cozy sort of look. Just don't be afraid to smudge it with your finger. We'll do some edging down here. This is what we call at the Junk Monkey, the eyeliner effect.
Or if you're listening to Poison or Bret Michaels, the guy liner.
The guy liner, you got it. And so you can have fun. Just remember how I told you I like to think about all the pieces of my furniture as like parts of puzzle that make it up when I'm painting it. So you could even get some more like bold. Let's brush off a little bit as much as possible. Even put a little bit onto this painter's tart below me. Remember that you could also go ahead and you could take a little bit of that brown around the edges to really create, not too much, but just to kind of create a more darker edge, like a framed look. If you want more of a aged look, antique look. But I would go do that to all the edges, guys. So that way it's, you know, it all looks the same, it looks uniform. I do this a lot when I do picture frames and things like that, because pictures look better with a frame around them. And some of this paint, you guys haven't seen me take a hairdryer to this paint yet, so some of it's still wet, and where it does meet, it just gives me a nice soft antique edge to it, which I really like.
Woo!
Right? Pretty. What do you guys think, right? Make sure you do all your edges. This is very, when I'm doing this, I don't know, this just mellows me out. This is the fun part, right? This is where you get to be the furniture artist. Not just a furniture painter, but you know, you add your own touches to it. You get to have fun with it. I do like that, a little bit of brown onto that. That would be cool. What, you laughing at me?
Yes.
Why?
You just went full Bob Ross.
I
Never
know.
go full Bob Ross.
I can't help it. Because what happens is you'll stand back, you'll do a little bit, you'll stand back,
And then you keep messing with it.
and you'll keep messing with it. You will. You will. So it's totally up to you. You do the 13-minute flip, or you do the, you know, the 30, or whatever you want to make it. Because let me ask you guys watching right now, do you guys like to get it all done in one setting, or are you somebody who says, you know what, I like to just take my time and space it out? You guys tell me what you think. Let me go back over that just to soften it up a little bit. And guys, I have not even done any distressing or anything yet by taking out my sand block. So maybe I'll let this dry and work on that a little bit. All right, is anybody out there asking, now how are you gonna seal this? What do you think, Matt? Is somebody out there asking how you gonna seal this?
Yes. Banana peel.
You got it. How'd you know that?
I'm just
You've been around the block, haven't you? You know.
few times.
You know. So banana peel is our polyacrylic sealer, and it gives a nice hardened shell to whatever it is that you paint. And so a piece like this could be at the end of the bed, could be a coffee table. So if it's going to be more decorative, I can get away with like a wax oil finish. But because this is going to be a piece that's going to be well used, well loved, or maybe I don't even know what they're going to do with it, right? All right. That we'll just make sure they're covered, okay, guys? All right, boom. Okay. All right. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think of our paint lesson today? This concludes our paint lesson. you guys learned how to prep the furniture, how to be brave and just go for it, all right? Pick whatever color that floats your boat, how to use 2 colors to create a really cool blend, and also how to do some edging, how to cheat, and even if you want to get funky with it, to do some lightning right here on parts of it to really just kind of give it some dimension. So yes, this is what I will actually seal with once this piece dries. And I'll come back, I may do some distressing with a sand block, and then I'll grab from my banana peel right here, and I will brush it on, and I'll probably do 1 to 2 coats. That's all I'm gonna need to make sure I've got full coverage, and she will be good to go. All right, what do you think? That was easy peasy, right? Yeah? Everybody's nodding? Yeah, you can do that too? Thank you, Matt. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. I am Sonia, and this is...
I am Matt.
That is Matt. We're Junk Monkey Paint Company. We love to have fun with paint, the power of paint. Say it with me. Doesn't it just feel so good just to have a good paint therapy session together with friends? That is what life is all about. Good memories, good times, and you know what? You're filling up your happy bucket. So hopefully you're overfloweth with joy today. Hope you guys are all having a great day out there. Make sure that you do hit subscribe so you don't miss another awesome creator here on Home Talk, serving up some great DIYs, and I will see you guys again next week.
Bye.
Bye.